Hello, my name is Cynthia Fraser-Graves. I bring in my reading today material that I have written about New England, in New England, and I hope that it rings the New England tone for you. The first piece is Annotated Haiku 2020. 3 black crows in snow-laden wind write poems on my window. 6:23 a.m. A January day of gray, white, and black. How to proceed on this frigid day with hours ahead of me? I hold my coffee cup close. It means something. Here at my window, the forest looms, stretches out to Old Thompson Road. Fox, deer, rabbits, many animals live in these woods beyond my vision. Clouds of birds descend to my feeder as snow begins to fall, thick, big flakes caught in the wind. 3 crows of deepest dark black enter the window with me, weaving back and forth in my sight as if they are trapped in a frame. They turn their eyes and beaks to me, dancing in snowy air, write love poems on thin winter paper of air. Dawn's blue gown settles over the woods. The dance of day begins. 5:45, Wednesday, February 1st. I am up earlier than usual today. The clock chime alerts me time is passing. The whole of everything around my snug house coalesces and rises out from the dark of night and into the tide of approaching dawn. Light. Silky blue light rises from earth, blue like the blue in Cinderella's gown, blue like the sky behind a full moon, living, breathing blue, blue as I rarely see it. It comes up out of earth just as it drops from the sky as well, filling, surrounding each thing in my sight with innocence. A breeze waves in the trees, and all living things sway and rise and laugh. The dance of day has begun. Rain freezing hard, porch and windows glazed, a luge air like ice, alive. 6:32 a.m., February 23rd. March never waits, strides into February uninvited. It's always been that way. Yesterday it rained ice all day. The geese above the storm were crying in codes, directing arrow-shaped flocks to land in the marsh inlets on the edge of the sea, abandoning sharp-edged skies to return to safe brown earth. This morning, in freezing air, the world is made of crystal-stemmed flower trees and diamond-crusted grass, which glows in my window, grass bending and breathing cold wind. There is fire at the heart of everything. Sun rising in the woven basket of the forest, carrying flame home. 6:15 a.m., March 12th. The sun rises in my dining room window, now in the most easterly position of the year. The orange glowing orb comes up from the slate blue ocean to crest behind a thick row of pine and cedar trees at the end of my driveway. When I come to the window to watch morning begin, the sun rests for a moment in a basket of boughs, fragrant green strong, then is carried up and up until the fiery orb jumps out of the basket to rule the waiting day. Light explodes in time as you smile into my eyes, the simplest gift of all. 6:45, January 1st, 2021. It's a new year, my love. I am alone here in our little world, wondering where you are. Do you sleep still? All the color I can ever remember has faded into the shallow landscape before me. The green sentinel trees seem black at this hour. I am waiting, and I will wait until you, my son, rise to come to me here in this new place, a place of this year and not of last, a place of this moment, the one that never ends. Thanks, that's one piece. My next is a piece of prose called The Winter Garden. This garden rises every year in the same place. Green plants of the current season taking root in the same brown earth as the many gardens of the past. Eventually, though, this year's population will cease growing and sink, some gracefully, some more awkward and indecorous, back into the brown soil that seems to wait outside my window while winter passes. I try keeping the garden orderly, rearrange seeds into rows, tie things up onto poles and such, but plants have a mind of their own. Though I have new ideas about location and plant them there, they, vegetables and flowers, seem to remember themselves from past years and go about looking as they did in last year's neighborhood, a notion I have noticed we humans have some affinity for as well. Though we transform and advance in stages to fruition, we look back to the previous flowering version of ourselves. Now, tomatoes are strictly patrolled. I execute search and seizure operations to find the little vagrants wherever they pop up, while silently setting down roots. Just what they think they're doing is beyond me. It may be that other neighborhoods of the garden are more racially diverse, more cultured or less leafy, more upwardly mobile. Perhaps they want to hobnob with the eggplants wearing their purple robes, or fling themselves at the basil in a frenzy of Mediterranean passion. That may be what they're up to in the end, but as a rule, I win. They settle back with their own kind and mature. Some plants are more romantic than others. I would appreciate it if you didn't tell them I said that. They compete for the attention of their caretaker as I hear them whisper about me as they weave down the rows, weeding or pruning. Of course, when I turn around, no one is saying anything, but that doesn't fool me. Tonight, the tall, slender, flowering pea vines dance in twilight breezes, looking for all the world, like the blue moths drifting in and out of Gatsby's party. I hear their silvery laughter on the wind and swear they gossip about the goings-on in this growing season's social, as they are the same, but are different each year. They do have a memory. Speaking of parties, indeed, the evening I remember, I had entered the garden to pick vegetables. It was a humid and warm dusk, the preferred light for fairy solemnities. I became aware of movement. A definite glinting and glowing was going on in the rows of the garden. I had the distinct feeling I had stumbled onto, or been allowed to witness, a very private ceremonial. Perhaps it was the angle of the vanishing light or the refraction from droplets that had rained in a light shower just fallen. But that garden shimmered as if it were Oz. Nothing will ever convince me I had not intruded on rites of the fairy tribe. Though my human vision was inadequate, I saw their glimmering presence. They were frolicking up and down with no thought of the rules I impose on my plants in the daylight world. Who can explain the waning and waxing of this seemingly same garden for 30 years? The more my life changes around it, the more the garden stays constant. I photograph it each year, and I can prove what I'm saying. Always the brave green flags of spinach wave, the brilliant red globes of beets light the air around them, and green fingers of beans reach for the sky as tall red lamps of Swiss chard nod and wave in summer's breeze. These citizens rise from the soil each year as the sun finds the seas. They are the constant companions of mine. There, in the photographs, the identical tomato faces look back at me year after year. I am in some of the pictures too, and while over a short period of years I offered the same face to the lens, I have begun to ripen myself, and the harvest is not impossible to imagine anymore. The year will come when this garden rises eagerly, but I will be nowhere in sight. It snowed for the first time today. I have to get some water, or I won't be. I'm sorry. Listening to that. My next piece is a write-on poem. And it's titled, in collusion with some of what we have been reading recently, New England Women. I love New England women who put the light on in the kitchen to make soup under dark January skies. I love New England women who, in February, shun despair to wash floors, bake bread, and knit. I love New England women who feel March winds with their body and dance the kitchen with no one watching. I love New England women who hang wash and read prophecy in sheets, sweaters pushed up on strong arms. I love New England women who walk the lane to the farm under spring apple trees to hear them singing. I love New England women who gather berries on summer hills, white clouds in blue skies above. I love New England women who stop clocks, cover mirrors, and sit with death like a relative who needs no talk. And for my last piece, again, with New England, or our part of the country, in mind, I'd like to read Requiem for my parents. You taught us the words of our lives, words that came first from your lips, spoken around supper tables on cold nights while stars snapped like firewood above, came to you from your people who lived on the edge of land under the North Star. Today, we sculpt this air to be your gravestone. Sturdier than granite, your quiet humility will approve its price and quality. Nascent leaves of the coming spring will whisper your stories above you. Their memory is longer than ours and more durable. Witnesses assured you as you sleep in this grove, attendant crows surround you, the augurs of saints. Down the slope of days in season's house, you are waiting for us to come home again. And so we will, no matter what plans we cast. Our paths were joined the lucky day we were born of you. Behind this scene, deep shadows slip. We sense them now on the other side of this light, as real as the hearty grip of your hand on our shoulders or the tears you shed that coursed down your dear faces for us, gems of our lives. Scattered now on the earth, we are of you, in you, and through you. We will find our way home where you are waiting, porch lights burning bright.